Okay, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to ALCOSAN's Green Committee meeting. Today is March the 18th, 2025. We will begin with the roll call. Ms. Prater?
Paul Klein,
Oops.
Emily Kincaid, Dr. Shanna Tharp Gilliam, Darren Kelly,
Here.
Sylvia Wilson.
Here. And I'm so sorry, you are not Ms. Prater. I apologize.
No worries.
All right. Today we have five informational items and 4 items that we will vote on. So we'll begin with our information. Passing it on to the expert green person.
Mr. Prevost, take it away, Tim.
Thank you. Okay, as we noted, there are 5 items in the informational items, and the first one that we will start with is a GROW final report update. And everyone see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, GROW final report update. As of the end of 2024, ALCOSAN has received 101 final reports. You may recall that we have awarded 190 projects. So we are getting a lot of resolution on the GROW projects ALCOSAN has made an investment in. So projects. So with every final report that we receive from the municipality, ALCOSAN and ALCOSAN's team, GROW team, does a review of all the final reports. And after every review, we write up a summary form or summary report that goes through the project scope, the costs, the monitoring review, and then any notes that we may have in regards to the report. And if it's necessary, we will reach back out to the applicant and have a meeting with them, discuss the final report, because sometimes a revision might be necessary. 2 years ago, when we started reporting on the final reports, we did a breakdown of projects that are overperforming, projects that are plus minus 25%, so pretty much in line, and then underperforming projects. In 2023, we had 81 projects completed. Last year, when we presented, we had 92 projects. And now this year, we have 101. And you can see the breakout, pretty much overperforming projects and projects that are in line with our initial expectations are pretty much even. Underperforming projects, we did not get a single underperforming project last year. So this is good. It's what we were hoping for. And this is reflecting the changes that we made to the program guidelines, to how we expect the municipalities to assess the performance of these projects. So with the 101 projects that have been completed so far and an assessment of the information that was provided to us, we are estimating that the volume removed from the system based on these projects is over 1.1 billion gallons. And the estimated overflow reduction, 207 million gallons. And this was reported at our last public meeting. 1.1 billion gallons. Our friends at Jacobs likes to point out that 1,700 Olympic-sized pools every year. In Pittsburgh, we like to say how many acroshires it is. 26 stadiums up to the 100 level, 42 million gallons per acroshire. So a lot of water we're removing every year. If there are any questions in regards to the final reports, I'd be happy to answer them. But if not, I will move on.
Yeah, I think you can move on. I just think the visual is pretty spectacular.
Thank you. The next informational item that I'll be talking about is the GROW agreement. The GROW agreement is ALCOSAN's contract with the applicant, the municipality, and identifies the terms, responsibilities, and conditions, and how we distribute the funds to the municipality. It's 16 pages long, 31 paragraphs. All the language is legally important, and most of it, though, is boilerplate. It's pretty standard. The language has implications on ALCOSAN, has implications on the customer municipalities, and the program itself. At the end of every agreement, there are 4 exhibits that are specific to each project. Now, the last time we recommended a substantive change to the GROW agreement was almost 4 years ago, in July 2021, when we incorporated language regarding regionalization. And usually every year we don't have a substantive change. But this year we have one tiny substantive change that we want to bring to the committee. In the closeout process language of the agreement, we have language that says that the municipality is to provide us as-built drawings showing the completed project. We would like to expand that requirement to say as-built drawings and updated GIS files incorporating the source reduction modifications impacting the municipal sewer system by the completed project. This tiny change will help us get information in geographic information system files to help us better keep track of these projects as they continue to be implemented and completed. And this is only going to impact cycle 10 projects and moving forward. Past projects, they can voluntarily do it, but this will be a requirement moving forward. If there are any questions on this, and this is the only substantive change to the agreement that I'm bringing forward.
I'm not hearing any.
Okay.
Nope.
And a little bit later, we will have the action items. This is just the language in the agenda. Next informational item, we'll be talking about the GROW Cycle 11 program guidelines. And as presented to the committee and the board in the past, there's a process to developing the program guidelines, making sure that the program guidelines are reflecting what we have learned about the program. And if changes are necessary, we propose a change to Green Committee. So we have gone through the guidelines, and this was brought to our solicitor's attention, program guideline change that, apologies, hit the wrong button. What you'll notice is that there are 2 types of changes. There are substantive and recurring modifications. I want to bring up a program modification to the program guideline, which is analogous to what I just presented in regards to the agreement. It is simply a minor change that clarifies what our expectations are from the applicant in regards to what we get back in the final report. So the language is exactly the same, but they're 2 different documents, and we need the committee to see it if there are questions, and then eventually an action item to authorize these changes. And this will be the language in action items. If there are any questions in regards to the program guidelines, I can answer.
Not for me.
Okay, next informational item is the GROW Cycle 10 recommendations. In Cycle 10, we had invited 17 projects, or we had 17 applications come in. Most of them were I&I jobs, inflow and infiltration, and we had one sewer separation job. There were 2 green infrastructure jobs that we had invited to apply, but those 2 municipalities elected to not apply for the project. One in Crafton, they were going to reevaluate the project, and we're expecting that to come in for cycle 12. And then the green infrastructure project at Southside Park, Pittsburgh Water and the city of Pittsburgh are still working through the details and trying to find funding for that. So 17 projects we did receive. And this is the list of all the projects throughout the service area. And I'll just quickly go through the project highlights. So we have 5 projects, top 5 projects for long-term overflow reduction. Wilkins Township, over 1.7 million gallons of overflow reduction in a year. And then subsequent projects kind of drop off. This is a reflection of the type of projects these are. Most of the projects are I&I projects, inflow and infiltration, which takes groundwater out of the system, but they're typically in sanitary sewer areas and most of the time not really contributing to combined sewer overflow. Sometimes contributes to maybe an SSO, but not all the time. Top 5 projects with stormwater removal is a different story. These are projects where we know where a lot of water is coming into the system, water that we don't bill for, but yet we're expected to treat. So in Bellevue Borough, Mount Lebanon, Fox Chapel, Brentwood, they identified some large projects. Now, a lot of these projects, ALCOSAN had done studies in those municipalities. We shared the studies with the municipalities. So they had a very good idea where the problems were, and then they identified the projects to address them. So the top 5 projects in overflow cost efficiency. Wilkins Township with their sewer separation project was the most cost effective at 95 cents an overflow gallon. This is not necessarily in line with past cycles, but it is somewhat indicative of where we're at in the source control projects right now. We got a lot of the low-hanging fruit, and now what's remaining is more difficult and sometimes may not be cost effective. Stormwater cost efficiency is in line with past cycles. The top one, 2 cents a gallon, less than 2 cents a gallon actually, from Bellevue Borough. Bellevue had the top 2, and this is a testament of the collaboration that ALCOSAN has had with Bellevue in the past, and pretty much what we try to do with all of our customer municipalities. And finally, the award amount. Wilkins Township with their 1.7 million gallons of overflow reduction. The award that we're proposing is over 1.2 million. Mount Lebanon, Fox Chapel, Brentwood, they rounded out. The range, Wilkins is somewhat of an outlier. And all the other projects, the I&I projects, are relatively smaller. So these are the 17 projects. We're recommending awards to 15 of them. One project in Collier Township, they withdrew their application several weeks ago. They identified a problem with the project understanding, and so they reached out and we worked with the municipality. They were concerned that if they withdrew their application, it would be viewed negatively. And I reassured them that that's not how the ALCOSAN Grow program works. We would rather have the municipality let us know that they think the project should not be applied for. And then we could work with them to identify where the project can go in your municipality. And then the other one for an extended review in Kennedy Township, we identified that the project has some potential, but we need to work out the finer details with Kennedy Township before we can recommend an award. So we are recommending that we give them an extended review, which we do that with some projects where we believe it could be a good project, but based on the information we have, we just weren't quite there yet. So the overall award results. Cycle 10, potential awards, $3 million for 15 projects. The long-term overflow reduction is almost 3.5 million gallons a year. And the overall cost efficiency for the sewer separation, 95 cents a gallon. For I&I, $4.61 a gallon. ALCOSAN's cost in the end for the sewer separation is 54 cents. And the cost for the I&I, $2.66. And this is based on the overflow reduction end. If we looked at it from the stormwater removal portion, the inflow and infiltration cost is 3 cents a gallon because we're taking out over 70 million gallons of water from the system. And the sewer separation is pretty much in line at 31 cents for sewer separation. And grand total, 4 cents in overflow gallon or stormwater removal gallon. And I know that these are a lot of numbers, but I want to be able to show the committee what the costs are to ALCOSAN. Few pie charts showing the breakdown of the one sewer separation project versus the 14 I&I projects. Long-term overflow reduction of the one sewer separation project to the 14 I&I projects, almost 1-to-1. But then the stormwater removal, this really shines, the I&I projects are taking out potentially a lot of water from the system. So nearly 70 million, just those I&I projects. When we get to the action items, this is the language that we would be working with. And for the last, are there any questions in regards to Cycle 10's recommendations?
No, not at all.
Okay. Last informational item is end date extensions. We have several end date extensions. These are projects whose end date is March 31st, 2025. And these are projects that they will not have their final report done in time for before that date. So they are asking for a little bit more time. This is something that the GROW program is definitely, we want to work with the municipality to get the project done. And by amending the end dates, it gives them a little bit more time to finish up the job. And usually what it is just doing the monitoring and writing a report. And so this is the exhibit that will be on the board agenda. And if there are any questions in regards to,
I can't see it. What the kind of extension are we talking about? Just out of curiosity.
What we ask the municipalities to do is choose between an end date of March 31st of a given year or September 30th of a given year. This lines up with the Green Committee. Now it also lines up with awards. So usually the folks that are almost done, they will ask, hey, can we get a 6-month extension to September 30th? For projects that they probably found that the construction is a little bit longer, or they're going to be done, but the monitoring that's involved with that specific project might take a little bit more time. They are asking for March of next year. And what you'll see on here, it's either going to be this September 30th, 2025, or March 31st, 2026.
Thank you.
And it's a function of where they're at in the project and where they think they will be turning in their final report.
Okay.
Okay, if there are no other questions,
If there's no other questions, then we can just move right on into the action items, correct?
yes.
Darren, you have any questions at all?
No, ma'am.
Okey doke. All right, then we'll begin with item A, which is a motion to modify the green revitalization of our waterways, which is GROW, the GROW program, grant agreement in a form recommended by the ALCOSAN Board of Directors Green Committee.
Motion to modify.
I second, all in favor?
Aye.
Actually, we have to do that because if you're moving the motion and I second it, it's already taken care of. Do we have a lawyer
Sounds
over there?
good.
Is there a lawyer over there telling us we can't do it that way?
No, that is correct. We call it the reach out rule.
Okay, thank you so much. Because I mean, what's the point of voting on it? I'm moving, he moves, I second, and it's done with just the two of us. All right. Item B is a motion to recommend modification of the I'm just going to the GROW program on cycle 11, the program guidelines in a form approved by a solicitor. That's what we just were all of these things that we just reviewed. Darren?
Motion to recommend modification.
I second, and we will be recommending this to the rest of the board. Item C is a motion to recommend the ALCOSAN Board of Directors approve municipal source control projects for cycle 10 under the GROW program and provide successful applicants with a grant agreement. Darren?
Motion to recommend.
I
Motion to
second.
recommend.
I second. All right. And item D is a motion to recommend modification of grant agreements for the GROW program by extending the term of contract. Darren?
Motion to recommend modification.
And I second it. So all four of these action items will be presented to the full board when we have our board meeting later this month. Seeing no other business, and if there are no other questions, and I'm not hearing any, then we will adjourn this meeting. Thank you all for participating and all the work that goes in. And Tim, always a great job. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, committee.
Thank you.